that strategy starts to lose, and then your strategy jumping, and the other one's
Right.
working, right? And I feel like people flip flop a lot between strategies just because they lost a couple trades in a row.
For
So I
sure.
really think consistency to the approach is going to be best for whatever people are using. It doesn't matter what it is. You just got to try to be
Do you
consistent.
ever take multiple accounts and do different strategies? Like if I have like right now, if I have like 3 combines, do you
Mhm.
typically like do like I started to take I'm not a copy trader typically, and I'll kind of trade one strategy in one combine, I'll do another in another, and just kind of see, maybe get a little feel to see what's working and what's not. I
Mm,
think that's
yeah.
helped me a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
Sometimes I just think copy trading, if you got the wrong damn strategy in place, now you're wrecking 3 accounts, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
instead
true.
of one, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I do.
Hypocrites
I
add up
mess around the combines with different strategies. I've tried scalping. That didn't work out too well for me though. But yeah, I do test different. Try to find new
okay.
strategies that I test through the combines and stuff. And
Mhm.
if they don't work, they don't work.
That's what they're there for, right? So
Right.
Yep. You ever start looking at a new indicator and using it totally out of context, not the way you're supposed to, make money off of it, and then
yeah,
someone tells you, "Oh, you're doing this all wrong. This is how you're supposed to use this indicator," and then you start losing money looking at it.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's happened to me.
Been there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
probably made every
remember I had it
mistake you could
figured out
possibly
years
imagine.
ago with crude. I used a 754 tick chart, and I can't remember where the hell I got it from, and a moving average. And I remember emailing Hogue, "Hey man, this thing's awesome." I forget who said, that chart doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, it does. The next thing I know, I switched and never found the mojo again. It's like,
Oh no.
the lost treasure. You had some setup that was working. And once again, crude's changed. It's a different market.
Yep.
And there go the cattle. Huh.
What is cattle doing? Hoop. Show us.
Yeah. How is
Cattle
it
is
looking
up
going into this 4th of
115
July week?
points. Yeah, it's rallied almost, yeah, as of right now, 300 points off its low of the day. And just JD, I know you post those. So if all you that look up at the daily, once again, I don't tout a level, but this is where we all get caught fixed on price. And normally I say, what does Coach Paul say? What is your mouse broken? And I had an or resting order sitting in the cattle at 208.85, and it's one of my levels that I posted on the daily levels, and we got down to 208.92 was the low of the day, and
Mm,
we've rallied 300 points from that. So that's going in the journal today.
there we
Yeah,
go. Nice.
yeah,
Oh
Trust
man.
your numbers. Trust your own numbers. Yeah.
yeah. Right, JD?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Don't let your
check
brain
back
get in
Absolutely.
in
the way.
on your ES trades, guys. Are you both still in the market right now?
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
in.
Yep, I'm
It's
down $6.25 in one micro.
yeah. I'm in two minis, so let's see what happens
And
here.
I'm in your position, Vince. I'm like $600 away from passing 100K, and I'm like, don't you do it on a crappy day. Don't you force it. As much as I want to keep clicking that mouse, this is why I
Yeah.
said yesterday, you see my arms folded on when I come on air. There's a reason, because I can always
Yep.
grab that mouse and click something, So,
Yep.
Yeah. Just put it in the drawer. Take the battery out. Right.
exactly. Right.
Break it. You can do a whole bunch of different
Something,
things.
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Oh
this
man, I
Do you
can't believe
guys
ES
it was
use
broken.
Jesus.
take the battery out? I always use a hardwired mouse at my
Oh,
on a desktop or a trading
I know
platform.
why. I know why.
I've had
Because if
bad
the thing
experiences
craps
with the
out, you're screwed.
Oh
exactly.
yeah.
That battery, when that battery dies, you don't know what's going on. You start
No,
panicking.
and then you're searching for
The last
triple
thing,
A's in the kitchen in the junk
Yeah.
drawer, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Or sometimes the last thing you're
That's
thinking
so
about is the
funny.
battery. You think the whole thing went down.
Yeah. What the hell's
Yeah.
wrong with this
That is,
thing?
that is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's actually a good idea, JD. That thing goes out, we're done, right? All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
move this up here. I'm gonna get something if it pulls back. If I don't get filled, I'm out with 2R on
We're
this
going to take out
trade.
a new high. Can we do it?
And hold on, I need
Push.
to
Where's Hogue when
redo
you
my
need him?
personal account
Push.
here. Just give me 1 second, everybody. I'll be right back. I need to manage my other account.
Is Vince getting a new battery for his mouse?
He's getting back
6270
up.
in the orders.
Yeah.
6270 orders is the high in the ES. We're a couple points below that right now. Check back in on the tilt. 56% short in the ES now. 62% short NQ. 51% short crude and 61% long gold. Dude in the chat says, I'm in short 22, 812 in the NQ.
All right.
We need to get the I think I said to you before, we've had a couple of them be a little feisty lately. I think we need to get the Hindsight Capital website back up, JD.
That was a great one.
They've been
What was the other one we had?
saucy lately.
Right? We had another good one. CoinFlip Capital. That is another one we own. CoinFlip Capital. But Hindsight Capital was a good one. Tagline was,
that was
a great one.
Yeah,
the website's
I like
awesome.
that. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why we took those down. There's got to be a good reason for it. But,
I think I saw the Hindsight still up.
Is it still there?
Come on, Chad, hit that like button so I could hit this target. If you hit the like button, maybe it'll go to the target.
Push.
What's your target one more time, Vince?
6270. Come on, chat. Every like
You're
should
going
push it
right.
a point.
You're going right to a tick below the high. You don't think it's got the momentum to take out the high? Come on, Vinny.
I don't know. Not the way it's been trading.
Yeah, you're right. It probably
you know
doesn't.
I mean?
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The way it's been
Could
trading.
be a gold traded.
Come on, everybody, give me a push.
I'm looking at our Hindsight Capital website right now. It really is good.
It's freaking great, dude.
The quote from Talcott F. Devonshire the Fourth. I wish to feel good, so henceforth I will never be wrong again.
That's great.
That's
awesome. A great one.
And they're hiring senior portfolio manager, junior risk specialist,
Order
and
filled.
Investment analyst. Hindsight Capital.
There you go. Nice.
Who needs Goldman?
Yeah.
I think Jack wrote this website too. Pretty good stuff.
Oh, it's great. It's got Jack written all over it. 100%.
Oh,
yeah.
215 trillion under management.
Good work, Jack.
Fictitious global investment management.
250 trillion, you said. Did you say trillion?
215 trillion under management, yeah.
215 trillion. Wow.
7,434% annual return.
Nice.
Specializes in deploying capital exactly where you should have it in retrospect. We believe that today's complex decisions deserve tomorrow's most condescending explanations. That's great.
That's awesome.
Man. Yeah.
Well done, Jack. If you're listening, we applaud you.
Well done. Yep.
Nice work, Jack. It's funny.
Markets
what
have
about
gone
gold,
flat.
JD? What do you think about gold?
Market is...
You watch it every morning.
Gold is sideways.
Opinion here?
Yeah. Right
long
back.
Term?
Long term? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think non-farm is gonna probably give it a kick into one direction or the other. And I think that's what it's waiting for.
I think it's pretty dependent on what equities are up to also.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
If we see
summer trade right now,
the other day, though. That was a beast of a bull move the other day.
It was. The correlation
that thing gets directional.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
the overnight
directional.
Yeah, the overnight was crazy.
Mm-hmm. $60 in your face with like 2 pullbacks. I mean, it's it's
Well, you can definitely
We're
tell we're
right
in the
back
summer
towards the
trading mode,
highs.
huh?
Oh yeah, 100%.
JD, you got the
Yeah,
Delta in ES?
day before a holiday. I do not. Hogue is not here either. I don't have access to the
Yeah,
Delta.
I can grab it somewhere else. Hold on, I'm gonna go check it. I can grab it. I'm curious
Someone
where we're
asking
at
for a
on
Can
this.
you
Delta
get
update.
can
No,
you get negative
I'm
delta
curious
on a day
myself.
like today? I don't
Let me
know.
see what we
What's that,
got
Hoop?
cooking here in the
Can you
Delta.
what?
I just don't know if you could get negative delta on a day like today. It's just you
Oh
could, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
I mean, look at
I
that
think
volume.
everybody's just trying
Participation
to.
definitely
Yeah.
low.
Hmm.
No one wants to get in
Yeah, I
trouble
mean we're
ahead of a
positive
long weekend.
Oh, I get it.
positive 776,
Yeah, I didn't
positive
think it was going to.
776 in Delta right now.
Positive 776
Market's
in the
just
ES.
yep.
Hey,
In
the
the
other
ES.
sleeping market, boys, is micro Bitcoin. It's up almost 4%.
Is
Micro
it?
Bitcoin up 4%.
Yep.
It's picking
Hmm.
on
Nice.
the Mag 7 actually. Looking at the Mag 7, pretty quiet. Well, Apple's up. Apple's up 1.5%. Amazon down 0.08%. Google's up 1.5%. Meta down almost 0.5%. Microsoft down 0.38. Nvidia up 2.5. And Tesla up 4.5. Tesla trading 315 and a quarter right now. Nvidia back up to
So
157 and a quarter.
pull my chart up a
What's it?
minute there. Is the camera back there? Take a look at that. That's micro Bitcoin. Look at the Bollinger Band there
Oh yeah. There you go. And
when
it's
that
getting
comes
expanded.
up.
See now
Holy
your bull
crap.
and I would use second and third deviation, and then once it would
Mhm.
hit the third and pull back into the second and close, I would sell it.
I mean, that shit went vertical. Wow.
Because Bollinger Band is like a rubber band, right? The market
Yep.
expands and then it snaps
Hmm.
back like a rubber band, you know,
Yep.
right back to that the VWAP in the middle, whatever's in the middle of that thing.
Those
Sound
are
off
all
in the
30
chat
minute
if you will.
bars.
Are you trading micro Bitcoin here on Top Step X? Give us a yes or a no. A thumbs up. Are you trading micro Bitcoin?
I'll tell you, Bitcoin, that's one thing
9.
I'll never forget. A guy came into my office talking about this Bitcoin before it was like a thing. And he's
Mhm.
explaining it to me. And I'm looking at him like he had four heads on. And I don't remember what the price was, but it was dirt cheap. He's like, you should buy this. I'm like, all right, thank you. I appreciate. And then a couple of years later, I'm looking, I'm like, holy shit, I should have bought that. I'm like, God, like I could have been on an island somewhere. It was so cheap
I know,
too.
right?
Yeah.
The one you
So
could have
easy.
loaded up on was Ethereum because it was so
Mm,
much cheaper too, though, guys. I mean, even when Bitcoin was 4 or 5,000, Ethereum was in the hundreds. So for the
yeah.
us normal people that could, maybe leverage, 5, 10 grand at something, that was the one that, you know, probably you could have really hit the bang for the buck
Yeah.
versus,
Hmm.
whatever meme coins out there now.
Just think where gold would be if they didn't have that.
Where do you think it would be?
Gold would be at like 10,000.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm serious. The flight to quality was always gold, right? So back in the day, anytime we had stagflation or inflationary markets, everybody would hedge with gold.
Right in the gold,
Now they're
yeah.
buying the Bitcoin and the gold,
well,
so
didn't somebody say the other day in chat that there's a smaller contract now of gold and ask if we were trading it? And I'm like, in the years, JD, and you'd know this, is that the Merc had great ideas about a lot of different, markets. And you would
Hmm.
say, oh, a smaller gold contract, that sounds great. But if nobody trades it, it's irrelevant.
yeah.
What's the
Yeah, well, the
point? Yep.
Nano is coming out. The Nano, it's 1 ounce
Is
gold
that what it's called?
contracts.
The Nano? It's
It's
like
on the
a
CME
1 ounce gold
website. Yeah,
contract,
it's the
right?
Nano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
their website. I don't know if it's trading
It's
yet,
gotta
but
it's gotta provide some other function to the market. They're not just gonna
Correct.
launch a product because somebody wants a smaller contract. It's gotta have some type of value
It's not a
in a
future
broader
like
sense.
micro gold where,
well,
you're able to, downsize your leverage. I get it. But if nobody wants to, you know, don't they still have electricity contracts? The Merc? Swear they
Do
do.
they? You could
no,
Yeah.
yeah,
they
you could
used
There
to. I
was
don't
trade
you
know if
could
they do.
trade
They have
electricity.
you
weather,
could trade
Yeah.
electricity.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can trade wind.
Didn't they even have Obama versus what presidency was it? Did they have something on there too one time with the futures? It was like
Oh,
for the
like
president.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Sure,
Crypto
they can make a
Bebop in
market
the
for anything.
chat. Question for the coaches. What do you use to create support and resistance levels? What are you looking at in terms of support and resistance? Swing highs, swing lows,
Okay.
previous areas of congestion, uh, previous day highs and lows, 3-day highs and lows, weekly highs and lows. There's, as Hogue would say, there's a
Well,
thousand ways to peel an onion. But what's
yeah.
your special
Mm-hmm.
sauce when you're talking support
Vinny,
and
you go first.
resistance? What are you looking
Sure.
at?
Yeah. So I'll pull up my chart here. Let's see here. Let's go to like 30-minute chart. So when I'm looking for support and resistance, I'm gonna look to see where buyers came into the market, right? So the buyers came in here, 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 here. This is where sellers came in and then buyers took control. So for me, I would say, somewhere in this neighborhood is going to be some sort of support, right? Because this is where the market came down and it rejected and it went in the other direction. And then same thing on resistance, right? So right now we're bumping resistance and we just can't seem to get there. Um, so we do have resistance up here in this low in this area, right? Where I'm trading right now and I'm struggling, right? You can see it. It's been resistant this whole time. I'm trying to just get my target right up here at 62.70 and it just won't get there, right? Because these sellers are still here. Now, if they give up, maybe I'll get it. But, this is a resistant zone. Okay, that's where the sellers came and drove this market down. This is a heavy sell off right here. So they're still out, obviously they're defending it, right? Because I can't even push it 3 points to get filled. So that's how I
Mm-hmm.
find support and resistance. You look for areas where the market either had reversed or where you can find a lot of buyers and sellers. So
Yep.
that's I guess there's no right or wrong way to say where it is, but that's kind of how I do it.
So, Vince, I got a question for you. As far as your exit
Yeah.
strategy on this trade, you're working to get out at 70, just under the high. So, based
Yep.
Mhm.
off of what you're seeing for that resistance level up there, is that why you're putting your profit target underneath the current high instead of taking out the
Yep.
high and selling a new high?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Absolutely.
That's your thought process there? Okay.
Exactly. I mean, I was gonna probably get out here around the 60 29 level, but I was hoping we would gun for the the intraday high and take it out, and I was just gonna put my target just a little bit below in case we don't get it. But it looks like I'm gonna get hit here at my trail. There it is. All right, so plus 325 on that. So we'll take it.
Very good. Coach Vince up $325 on an ES trade. All right, Hoop. What are you looking at as far as
Well,
support and resistance goes? Do you believe in support and resistance?
I, I really, I think I was shown that as a beginning trader,
Mm-hmm.
because my first starts were point and figure. I mean, I
Yep.
literally stood in the pit with a piece of graph paper and plotted out 10 by 30 in the pork bellies. That's how I learned. Um, and you remember, you've seen these guys, and I know your dad's probably showed them, they have freaking the things like this wide, and they have it folded up and they have it taped
100
together.
times,
And
yeah.
that's how, 100 times. So that's how I learned it. So usually in a point and figure world back then, that's why I think I gravitated to range charts. And I know that that's something, I know there's a lot of big stuff coming to the Top Step X platform here this month. So I'm hoping that's one of them. But I am typically a guy that looks at swings, swing lows, swing highs. I just I think it's always fit my brain a little bit better because of being a scalper and standing in the pit and working in that motion. But if I'm looking at, like, when I go to a 4 hour chart or a 1 hour chart, I call them levels because um, I just remember I used to watch guys, and you probably seen them too. Is in the top pocket, a lot of guys would pay for numbers. In other words, they'd go up
Yep.
to their guy who did all their numbers, and I know because my brother did, and I'd have to go get him, and he'd have it in his pocket, and he'd take a peek at it, and he says, "Hey, man, these aren't support and resistance; they're levels. So how the market reacts around them, you can call them support or resistance, or you can call them pivots." So that's kind of how I've always looked at it. Um, so more of like, and I think I put like a Hagenishi chart up there, or like a Renko, like Mo uses. Those are close
Yep.
to it, but I look typically more as a day trader. I'm looking more at swings more than I look at call them like you said, support and resistance. For me,
Yeah, that makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
You mentioned charting by hand. Do you remember the stories about Marty Schwartz, the famous pit bull? He was in those Jack Schwager books, but he used to
Mm-hmm.
chart by hand like over 100 individual stocks every single day after the close. He would chart it by hand. The floor in his office was
That's nuts.
completely insane. He had one chart, it was like 50 pieces of paper taped together, and he's marking it all with a pencil. This guy's $1 million a day
Nice.
trader, you know? He's a day
That's
trader,
crazy.
huge
Mm-hmm.
options player. Uh, he's been making 50 million a year for 50 years, right? You know,
It
Wow.
just laying on his
I
floor,
remember when
charting by
guys,
hand.
I remember when guys, JD, when and once again when I left the floor, the tablets or the handhelds had just kind of hit the floor. And some guys fought them like they were the plague, like before we had our cards and our dupes and all this. But then when they used to get like looks like a I don't know, JD was about the size of a phone, a mobile phone now, but guys would take their little stylus and they'd scroll down and say, "Oh, I'm short from here, I'm long from here." It definitely made it faster, but there's still guys that were great traders, like option traders. You know, those guys had the huge. I used to call them the guys in the cattle pit. They'd have these long sheets of where all the deltas were and all that. I mean, options is a especially in the futures pit was a much more complicated than just bidding and offering in the pit, because there'd
Hmm.
always be a lull when option traders were trading because they'd have to figure out what fair value was, the gamma, the delta. And then you'd see them sit there and then all of them would figure it out. And once they'd go buy them, in the pit, there wasn't that lag to find out what fair value was on a trade. You knew.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember my
It was
uncle
true.
telling me stories because my uncle had a he had a seat in the gold pit, and then he went over to the NYMEX, to the crude pit, and leased a seat over there. And he used to actually do the market profile with the graph paper. I remember him talking about that way back in the day because he was on the floor. He didn't have his charts and stuff like that. So that's what
Yep.
actually
Hmm.
intrigued me with Top Step when I originally came over to Top Step is Hogue was doing stuff on that, and that really like hit me. I'm like, wow, this is pretty awesome. I heard about it, just never used it before, and yeah, so that it was pretty cool. I mean, back in the day, you guys had to do things that a lot of manual stuff, right? You
Yeah.
fill in the ticks,
Yeah.
fill them in, the first 30
Yeah.
minutes from here to here,
Hmm.
it's kind of cool, man.
Yeah. The
Hey,
speed of
Hoop,
it
just
now
double
is,
checking.
yeah.
Double checking, Hoop. Are you out of that ES trade?
Oh
Are you
no,
flat?
I'm long.
Still in it?
I'm
I'm
still,
actually working
yeah.
along
I
again.
still think at some point we will. I mean, being in a micro right now, I'm just be honest with you. I'm here till the close, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna watch it. We're not going anywhere. You know, uh, we're not going anywhere quick. So I'm just gonna hold on
Yeah.
and see if we can make a push at some point. So I'm up about
Save it for the auto
440,
liquidator.
but exactly right. Gee, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm OC.
Jack is in the chat. He is still short the ES. More than an hour now, he says. Unfortunately. Where are you short from? If you don't mind me asking.
Think he's 63. I think JD was. I think I saw.
63?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least there's only been a 5 point range for the last 3 hours. Man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But
I'm
this is
working
the
along
summer. I
again,
mean,
so
be bullshitting with some guy in the pit talking about the Cubs or something, like where are we playing golf this weekend? We'd stand there for 3 hours in the pit as nothing came in order wise. You know,
Yep.
yeah.
But you couldn't leave just in case. So when everybody else
Nope.
left that's
No,
when you wanted to
sir.
be there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Catch a little berry, as I used to say, catch a little stray. Yep.
Yep. Check back in on the tilt again real quick to see what some of our top sub traders are doing. And they're not doing much. 59% short ES, 69% short NQ, 54% long crude, and 58% long gold. Gold has officially settled for the day. I didn't catch settlement price yet, though. Just check in on the juice. Financial Juice usually posts settlement prices,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see it here. I'll find it later.
Wow.
That's okay.
I guess everybody went on vacation, huh? I mean, this month.
Everybody's
That
heading to
time
Lake
of year.
Geneva.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
right.
heading to Lake Geneva. Yep. In fact, I talked to my
Good.
fun guy today. That's where I'm going to play Grand Geneva this weekend. I'm like, yep, sounds like the Illinois thing to do on 4th of July weekend, right?
Yeah.
That sounds perfect, actually.
Yeah.
If we weren't here doing this, would you be trading right now,
You'd be
guys?
there?
Or would you be out?
No. Uh-uh.
I mean, I'm
No way.
trying to trade. I'm trying,
Mhm.
but my goodness.
Look at the bonds and the notes.
Arthur
Yeah, I
Gill
see the
wants to know how
bonds
my old
look.
man's doing. Coach Jack was on Monday, Mr. Gill, and he'll be coming back around more regularly once VIP Season 3 starts. He's head coach of the Bull Brigade, tops the VIP experience. So he'll
The
be coming
lumber
back on
master.
TV. Lumberjack,
I
that's what they
love
call
listening
them.
to his
Yep.
stories. Yeah.
Ah. Yeah.
But
That was.
yeah, he'll be around. He's looking forward to it. He really enjoys doing the coaching and coming on TV.
Nice.
I think he tells
He
people he
has.
Pretty much
thinks.
corn's his number one market, right? The corn market, that's his number one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he loves the grains.
You know what I think
Move.
people love about him too, JD, is A, his
Sure.
passion for it, and B, how the pace at how he talks about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think traders of today are looking, oh, I need my setup, I need this, I need that. And your dad's just like, well, when it gets down here, I'll look to get a one lot, when I think things are kind of bottomed out in here, and they're all like, well, what are you looking at? It
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I think that's the beauty of some guys like that is it's a lot simpler than sometimes we make it, right?
Yeah.
Trust me, I can overcomplicate the shit out of it if I want.
Yep.
But
I mean, if you take
look at
a
crude.
corn chart, if you look at a corn chart,
Oh,
like a weekly corn chart over the last 100 years,
mhm.
you could
I
sit
know what
there
you're gonna
and
say.
stare at that chart and just,
Mm,
how am I not making money trading this market? Seriously, it's
right.
been trading in the same range for
Yep.
100 years. Like all you got to
And
do is buy the bottom and sell the top.
yep.
It seems so
Yeah.
simple, right?
It gets so directional too. It just,
Yep.
plots
And it
along,
gets
does its
moving,
thing,
right?
plots along, does its thing. Look at crude go. Son of a
Co-
buck. Whew.
Corn usually moves early in the morning, right? And then it kind of fizzles out.
This time of year it gets a little different. I think JD, you'd say that, and I always say, I've been saying to traders for like 2 weeks now. I said, this is kind of the ag's time to shine because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, planting
there's
season, growing
shifts in
season.
weather, there's supply
Mm-hmm.
changes. So like, 17-cent move in the beans and 7 cents in corn. There's some good money to be made there.
Yep.
And there's a
Yeah,
little
for
more
sure.
volatility. So, I think you said it, JD. I mean, your setup's your setup. You might have to watch it in another market every once in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's kind of, and like you said, it's not like beans will come back at you, but corn typically won't. In other words, it's just
Yep.
going to plod along and do its thing. No, soybeans, if you guys are NQ traders, go trade the beans.
Yeah.
You'll get a little,
Yeah.
you'll get some wicks.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a look. At least look at the dome or the ladder for an hour or so.
Mhm.
You'll see how it moves.
Look at the corn
You'll
dome.
get a feel for how it moves.
Yeah. 700, 800 contracts up more often than not. It's thick.
Mm-hmm.
Not as thick as the 10-year, though.
What is the 10-year?
Yeah,
3,000 up
10-year.
right now?
Dude, 4,000.
4,000 up?
3,500 up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's starting to move a
And
little
it
bit
doesn't
now.
look like it's moving.
Little blood.
It isn't. You ever trade the bonds on a regular basis, JD? When you were on the floor?
Not anymore.
No.
Oh, on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were arbing the pit against the screen. That was
Did you ever trade night bonds?
Actually. No, never got into night bonds.
Oh my God!
You guys in the
Every
group that I
guy had
worked
to
for.
pay their dues at the board. Had to go trade that 4 or 5 tick market and just grind it out. It was like it was the the bad frat party prank. You had to go there, pay your dues, and spend 5 hours a week, sitting through just bidding and offering and the overnight. But a lot of guys did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were guys that would get to the floor at like 3 a.m. just to secure their spot in the pit, in the bond pit.
Yep.
I'm not sure what it was like in other places.
Well,
but
when we used to be one floor when I first started there in '90, so everybody was on the floor. That's why when you say a floor was extremely loud, and then the Merc split, so there was an upstairs and a downstairs. So the currencies, the euros, and all that stuff were upstairs. But when that shift happened, I mean, I used to do out trades in there in the morning, and for the first 2 months, there were fights every morning on the pit open because the guy had to have his spot that faced the Daiwa Bank and the whatever other there was Japanese banks, Refco or whatever, and guys, I mean, fights every morning for at least the first 2-3 months because they were fighting for spots. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, guys, we got a couple minutes left. Let's check back in on these trades. Hoop still long. Yes.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Slowly ticking higher again.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally it's getting some blood.
60
back in the
62,
veins.
68 half.
Yeah.
68 half last trade. We're inching up slowly to the highs. Let's see what happens when we get up there.
Yeah.
Is this a good time to play a failed top? A failed top trade? Blow out some liquidity and then come right back into range?
That would
Or is it just
not
not going
surprise
to do
me.
anything?
Here we go. Top of the hour.
There you go.
Does the number move us in the morning and then we're done tomorrow, boys? Is that the feeling you think tomorrow?
I mean,
we think.
Yeah.
What do you think, JD?
Yeah.
Order
that's
filled.
Exactly what's going to happen. I think people are going to come in to trade NFP, trade the jobs report, and then bolt.
And then
if they're not already gone,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take an
markets
extended
close early
weekend.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Markets close early tomorrow. Markets are closed on Friday. And yeah, I'd imagine people
It's kind of what
trying
I
to
think.
get out of Dodge as fast as possible to beat the traffic.
Get the what's it called, JD? The station wagon from vacation. You
the Wagon Queen. The Wagon Queen family truckster.
Get it loaded up, baby. We're going. Yeah.
You didn't order the metallic P?
Crude new highs, man.
Those movies were great, though. All those movies. They don't make them like that anymore,
How far did we go? Probably a couple hundred feet, wasn't it? The station wagon took off.
Nice distance.
Then he goes and he ends up taking a car that he didn't want, right? He's forced to take it. His wife's like,
Yep.
"What's this?"
Cracking an old style with your
Oh.
son. Yeah.
That was funny. Funny. Oh my god.
Guys, we're talking about movies. It's time to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, damn straight, JD.
I'm gonna go take a nap, I think. My god.
I know, right? That was some boring market action for the last 45
Woo.
minutes.
Wow.
I think
You know,
At least
the
I
S&P
made a
moved a
few-
total
few
of,
shekels there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were in a 10 tick range for that hour in the ES.
That's crazy.
Well, folks, Coach Hoop, Coach Vince, thanks for joining us. Lunchbox Trading Hour has come to a close. Make sure you stick around. If you haven't gotten your lunch yet, go get it right now. You've got about 4 minutes before Robin Dane gets here. Have your questions
Order
ready.
filled.
She and Hogue are going to be
Next.
doing live Q&A right here on Top Step TV. She does not turn down any questions. It will be rapid fire, and she does an excellent job. So make sure you are here for that. We'll probably be recording it as a one-off clip also for our YouTube channel. So stick around, folks. More Tradertainment coming your way. We will be right back with Trading Psychology with Robin Dane and Hogue. Top Step TV. Let's go.
And an even. Quarter bid, half bid, the orders bid, even bid. Now I'm a seller. Quarter, half, the orders, and even. Order filled.